First of all, there's no doubt that in 2005 when those cuts were made, Medicaid in the state was heading for bankruptcy. Everybody knew it, and the question is, why was it allowed to ever get to that point? The other thing that we've got is in 2005, only 70% of the people who were on Medicaid were ever checked for their eligibility. And in 2005, after that, it was 100% check for eligibility. And there were hundreds of thousands of people that were found that should no longer have been on Medicaid, but were stealing Medicaid dollars from those that should have been on Medicaid. Again, it was very, very poorly run and very inefficient. Now, one thing that the Democrats don't want to tell you, and the Republicans don't want to tell you either, is since 2005, that Medicaid rolls have gone up 20%. Democrats don't want to tell you that because they want to make it look so draconian and they have to reinstate all of the cuts that were made. I do not agree with reinstating all the cuts that were made. 1 in 5 Missourians on Medicaid, the 4th largest state per capita in the country on Medicaid spending, is absolutely unacceptable, and this state never should have gotten to that point. Do we need to constantly be reevaluating eligibility criteria to make sure that those people that need those services get those services? Absolutely. That's where we're working to now. Are there bumps in the road? Yes. Were the cuts draconian? They were. The system was in a very bad place, though. And I'm hoping that as we continue to redefine eligibility criteria and reevaluating who needs those benefits and who's been getting them that shouldn't have been getting them. And again, I think I'm the only person, maybe even in this room, who's actually prosecuted Medicaid fraud and seen it firsthand and seen how those dollars are stolen from people who need that money. We're working towards that, but it's going to take a little bit more time. I know people don't want it to take more time, but it's a very complicated problem, but I think we're getting to a better point. I think my specific question here is about the Medicaid cuts. I think both as someone who has a family member who has both mental and physical disabilities, a father who was in the medical profession his entire life until he died last year, we constantly have to reevaluate eligibility criteria to make sure that those in need get what they need. But I will tell you, prior to 2005, there was only a 70% eligibility check on those receiving Medicaid. And after 2005, when it was a 100% check of eligibility, it was determined that there were numerous people, hundreds of thousands, that were on Medicaid that were basically stealing money from those that needed the money. That's the kind of efficiency that we need that we did not have before. I agree that the Medicaid cuts were draconian in some ways, and I think every year we need to go back and reevaluate eligibility criteria to make sure that those in need who need the services are getting the services. Thank you very much.
Call plan.
Yes, thank you. I think first of all, as I mentioned in my previous answer, a lot of the issues of funding are issues of efficiency, issues of finding the money that's already there. Because again, as I said, I'm the only person up here, I think, who's actually prosecuted Medicaid fraud, and I had to deal with the laws that were on the books. Could they have been better? Absolutely. Have I been in the General Assembly for 12 years to make those better? No. That's why I want to go there now. But I will tell you, as far as restoring 100% federal poverty level eligibility, I support that. And I think we can find that. I think we were at a point where we had almost 1 in 5 Missourians on Medicaid. We were the 4th largest state in the country on spending per capita on Medicaid. And there's a reason for that. And the largest reason is inefficiency. The state was not checking eligibility, and the state was doing a very poor job of managing money. I think a lot more money is there than we realize. The other thing people don't realize too, and I know for some this is not enough, but at least it's movement in the right direction. Since 2005, the rolls have gone up 20%. Medicaid rolls have gone up 20% from where they were in 2005. The Democrats don't want to talk about that because they want to make the situation look as draconian as possible. And in some respects, it is draconian. But we need to be factual about what the situation is. A lot of Republicans don't want to say that because some people say, well, that's welfare. Well, for those who need the services, it's not welfare. It's a medical necessity. And whether it's medication or services or durable medical goods, it's a necessity. And I support that. And as far as my position on restoring optional health net coverage for hearing aids, physical, occupational, and speech therapies for adults who need them, I support that. And I will make both those things a priority. Thank you.
If we can move to Paul Quinn, we're just answering the first question about restoring income eligibility.
On the Mohila cuts, obviously, the one thing, and I'm a very moderate candidate, okay? The thing about the Mohila cuts, the Republicans don't want to tell you and the Democrats don't want to tell you, the rolls have gone up 20% since 2005. It is equalizing with the new eligibility criteria. People who need to be on are back on, but nobody wants to say that Because the Democrats want to make it look draconian, and the Republicans don't like the concept that maybe it's welfare. My personal opinion is that if somebody needs to be on care, they need to be on care. The eligibility criteria needs to be established that those people in society that otherwise don't have health care should have that coverage. Is that money going to have to come from somewhere? Absolutely, it's going to have to come from somewhere. And the most likely place is probably the university. But we should have a very open, public discussion about that. And it should not be done in back rooms. It should be done in the open. And it should be a conscious public choice on what we're going to spend that money on. The Medicaid cuts in 2005, no doubt, were very painful. The situation that allowed this state to get to that point, that required difficult cuts, however they were going to be made, is inexcusable as well.